Good morning, 6th grade. Here is your video for statistics, part 2. Table of contents. 1, math quote. 2, what this topic is about. 3, objectives. 4, review. 5, concept development. Love challenges. Be intrigued by mistakes. Enjoy effort and keep on learning. Carol Dweck. One more time. Love challenges. Be intrigued by mistakes. Enjoy effort and keep on learning. Carol Dweck. What is this topic about? Again, statistics is about using data to answer questions. In statistics, you will use the following 4 steps in your work with the data. 1. Pose a question that can be answered by data. Determine a plan to collect the data. Summarize the data with graphs and numerical summaries. Answer the question posed in step 1 using the data and summaries. Las estadísticas se tratan de contestar preguntas usando datos. En las estadísticas se usan los siguientes 4 pasos. Primero, haz una pregunta que se puede responder con datos. 2. Determinar un plan para coleccionar los datos. 3. Resumir los datos con gráficos y resumen en números. 4. Contestar la pregunta original usando los datos y resúmenes. Objectives. I can find the mean, median, mode, and range of a data set. I begin to recognize the use for each type of data interpretation. Let's review. Statistics is in our life. We use it for industries and business, forestry and sport, agriculture, ecological and medical studies, and education. We use it to manufacture quality control, to predict maintenance for equipment, and to have inventory management. In business, statistics is used for performance management, alternative scenarios, and data collection. In sports, it's used to rate players to decide who gets cut from the team, decide who plays on which days, their salary, and who gets picked during a draft. And in education, it can be used to plan education, to review the system, to monitor academic growth, and identify the needs in society. So today I will cover the mean. The mean is also referred to as the average of the data set. This is mostly used to represent one value as the total measurement. For example, your grade point average. So when you get a grade on a report card, it's usually the mean or the average of all the scores of all the assignments you completed. And the mean is typically used with numerical data sets. Median. Median is truly the middle of all the data points. Median, middle. This is mostly used to find a more accurate middle point because the mean can be influenced by a very large number or a very small value in the set. And the median can be used with both numerical and categorical data sets. We have mode. This is the data point that occurs the most in the data set. Mode, most. The mode shows a value that might not come up in the mean or median, but represents something that happens often. And the mode can be used with numerical and categorical data sets. And then we have our range. This is mostly used to represent a small data set and includes the difference between the maximum and the minimum value in the data set. And typically used with numerical data sets. So looking back at our objectives, we can say that we are beginning to recognize the use for each type of data interpretation. Here's a dot plot based on science grades that I collected for 31 students. To find the mean, you have to find the sum of all the data points, divide the sum by the number of data points. This equals your mean. So for example, I have 3 dots over 55. That means 3 students scored 55. 2 students scored 60, 3 students 65, and so on and so forth. So when I find the sum and I add these values, I have to include each one. 55 plus 55 plus 55. Then move on. Plus 60 plus 60, and so on and so forth. When I did this, my sum or total was 2,425. In step 2, I divide this sum by the total number of data points. If I count each point, there are 31 points. So I write my equation. 2,425 divided by 31, and that equals 78.22. Therefore, the mean or the average score that students got on this science test is 78.22, or falls somewhere here on our data set. Let's use the same scores to find the median. The median, we need to order the data points from least to greatest, and we need to include all of them again. If you have an odd number of data points like we do now, we have 31, we find the point just in the middle of all the points. However, sometimes you might have data sets with an even number of data points. So when you find the 2 middle points, you then have to find the mean of those 2 points. So here's our data. I start off at both ends to help me get to the middle. I see that 80 is my median, which is relatively close to where the mean was 78, somewhere here, and the median is 80. Now let's find the mode. Again, the same data set. It is easiest to find if it's in a data plot because you can physically see, or in a histogram, you can physically see which one has the most. Analyze the dot plot and find the data point that occurs the most. In this case, 90 occurs the most. The mode is 90 because it happened 5 times, the most out of the rest of the scores. And then we have the range. To find the data point that represents the maximum, then we have to find the point that represents the minimum. Now we find the difference between the maximum value and the minimum value. So again, maximum value is 100, minimum value is 55. So we take 100 and we subtract 55 because we're finding the difference, and that equals 45. Therefore, there is a range of 45 possible values between the lowest data point and the highest data point. So now you can find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range of a given data set. If you have questions, please stop by office hours. See you soon.